there are more people in this world that are followers than there are leaders. Let's get into it. TerriAnnTalks, let's talk about it. Now, this topic, we're going to talk about Blue Ivy and the Renaissance tour with Beyonce, her mom. And there's a major difference between people that were being followers and people that were actually being leaders. Like, the leaders were the people that are like, you know, okay, I'll start off by saying this. I had a conversation with somebody about, Blue Ivy, where basically I'm saying, hey, like, have you been seeing the videos of Blue Ivy from the Renaissance tour and everything? Because from my perspective, I'm being very genuine because it's coming from a place of Blue Ivy then got so big. I can remember her when she was a baby, when she was a little girl, and now she is a preteen. She's a young lady now, and it's just so wild how much she has grown up and how big she done got. And it's just like, wow, like this girl done got so big, and it's like, it's like coming from a place of being like a proud big cousin, because that's kind of like how we feel about Blue Ivy. It's like, I'm so proud of her. Like, look at her doing her thing. Like, she's going up on that stage on tour with her mom, dancing and everything, and just coming out on like one segment. But it's just so crazy to see, like, one, how big she got, and then two, just it takes a lot of courage to go up there and to be performing in front of, tens of thousands of people. And another place I was coming from was like how I was seeing, like, like she did good, what I'm saying, like just watching her. And when I had told this person, I was like, hey, did you see those videos of Blue Ivy? Because this was like last summer when I was like, it was the Renaissance tour was going on, and every single time I saw like a clip of Blue Ivy, I would sit there and watch it because I was like so proud to see her. And when I asked this person, the person was like, yeah, I saw that, but a lot of people was talking about how stiff she looked and how she can't dance and how she ain't got no rhythm. And they was saying like how she really just needed to not be on a tour because she probably needs to wait till she was a little bit older, and how woo 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 it is and blase blase, and basically just kind of like dogging a little girl. And basically what the person was saying was kind of like they're basically reiterating what they had heard other people say, and they were basically being a follower and being like, this is what everybody else is saying, this is what the majority is talking about, so I'm gonna stick with the majority. So yeah, I think that Blue Ivy is stiff. I don't think that she got no rhythm. I don't think she was doing good, and I just don't think that she probably should be on that Renaissance tour and woo woo woo. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, y'all are dogging a little girl. Like, she's not even a teenager yet. She is a preteen, okay? She's 11 years old, okay? 11, 12 are preteens. But I'm like, this is a whole little girl. And why are y'all dogging this girl like she's y'all peer? She's not our peer. She's a child. And that's what I feel like people be forgetting. And people can be so cruel. They can be so mean to a point where they are literally being so rude and mean to a literal child, talking about this child like they are their peer. And that's just sickening to me. So basically, I'm sitting here kind of like puzzled, like, why are you, first of all, why are you talking about this child like that? And why are you coming into agreement with all these people? And why are you basically, yeah, everybody's saying this, so I'm gonna say it too. It's like, it's giving follower. It's giving you don't have a mind of your own. So I'm saying, I'm like, well, you know what? Like, I did see, one of the, like the first videos of like the first ever concert on tour. And I'm like, yeah, like it did look like she was nervous up on stage, you know what I'm saying? And when nerves get to you, sometimes you just, like, you don't maybe perform the best. I'm like, however, this is a tour, and I feel like with more practice she's going to get better. Like, I've seen videos from like the first one that she did, and I've seen videos from like the more recent ones, and she has gotten better. Like, just give her a chance, like it's like basically y'all kind of like writing her off before excuse me, before she even has a chance to like prove herself. It's like y'all expecting her to be perfect in comparison to her mom, but it's like y'all gotta understand that this is a baby we talking about. She ain't finna go out stage and be to top tier in the level of Beyonce, because Beyonce been doing this literally longer than Blue has been alive, bro. So we can't sit up there and compare the two. But it's like, give Blue a chance, give this child a chance. And I just didn't like the fact that like this person was basically like one, dogging a little girl, and two, being a follower. And that's what shows a lot about how people are. Like people that are followers are so quick to jump on a bandwagon and come into agreement and conform to what everybody else is saying, because they don't want to be the one that's the outlier, and they don't want to be the one that's standing against the crowd. They'd rather be, ooh, come on, spirit, they'd rather be amongst the crowd than to stand against the crowd, because it's easier to follow than it is to lead. And for you to have your own opinion, for you to think about what you think and have your own perspective on situations, people are afraid to venture off on their own and do so. That's why the strongest people are able to stand alone. The strongest people are leaders. The strongest people are not afraid of being labeled as weird or, an outcast. They're not afraid of that, because they're like, I'm strong enough to stand here on my own. And really, it's just giving that a lot of people are just such judgmental people. Like, they are so quick to like judge others and expect people to be perfect, or even if they're not necessarily expecting perfection, they just set such high expectations for people. And it's like, if you were in the same predicament, I don't think you would want people to hold you to such a high standard. So why are you holding this person to such a high standard? It's like people want to basically hold others to such this high standard without allowing the person to be human. It's like, we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all get nervous. We all get stage fright. We all mess up. We all go out there and perform and like, whether we are performing, whether we are doing a presentation, whether we are saying a speech, whatever it is that we do, we all have moments where we choke, where we get stage fright, where we mess up or we make a mistake, where we just may not be in the be the best. We may not have the best performance, but it doesn't matter, because it it takes a lot of courage to do so, and we're human. Nerves get to people. And if we allow people to be human, if we allow people to err, then we would be a lot more lenient, a lot more empathetic, a lot more compassionate. We will offer people a lot more grace. And it's like, offer people grace. Allow people to mess up. And even if they mess up once, it doesn't mean that they're going to keep continuing to make the mistakes. It's like, people can get better. So you have to start somewhere. You're not going to be an expert when you first start off. You're going to be a beginner. And when you're a beginner, yes, you're going to make mistakes. But that's the issue that I have with people. Is like, when someone is a beginner at something, they're new at something, they're fresh at something, they have room to make mistakes. And the mistakes are necessary, because they have moments for them to succeed in the next time. Failure is necessary because you can succeed after your failures. It's people that are afraid to fail, the people that are afraid to make mistakes, because making a mistake is a huge blow to their egos. A lot of people have, like, the thing is with followers, they have very, very fragile egos. And when they fail, when they mess up, they're thinking like they have this spotlight effect, like everyone's watching them and everyone's making fun of them and everyone's mocking them and taunting them. And it's like, no, bro, you're human. It's okay to be human. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up. And that just goes, and this whole situation just goes a long way, where the whole thing with Blue Ivy is just an example of how people are. But this really just goes for a lot of things in life, where you have people that are so quick to judge other people when they're starting something new and doing something different. And yeah, they may make mistakes, but people are so quick to like make fun of them and mock them because they're making a mistake at doing something new. It's like, how are you going to make fun of somebody and taunt them for being new at something when they are just trying it out? And it's like, if that was you in the situation and the role was reversed and you were new at a situation and you were just trying to get the hang of it, you weren't an expert at first, you weren't always the best at what it is that you're doing, you of course want to practice to get better, you want to keep on working to get better at what you do. So it's like, if you want other people to give you grace and allow you to get better, then do the same for others. It's like, people that are followers, people that have low self-esteem, they hold everybody else to such a high standard, but they don't hold themselves to such a high standard because they know that they can't live up to that high standard. So they'd rather put it off on other people than put it on themselves. And this says a lot about a person's character when They taunt people for being new at something. They make fun of people for at least trying. And it's like, y'all are making fun of Blue Ivy because she's out there on stage, but neither one of y'all that made fun of her could actually go out on that stage next to Beyonce as a dancer, backup dancer, and do exactly what Blue Ivy did. And it's like Blue Ivy has a lot more strength and courage and confidence in her little 11, 12-year-old body than a lot of you at your big age in y'all 20s and 30s. I was making fun of her. So yeah, riddle me that. Blue Ivy did such an amazing job, and so proud of that baby.